7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss Mother B. Rocker!
You are now tuned in to Butter B. Rocker on Transparency Talks Podcast.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Transparency Talks Podcast. I am your girl, the hostess with the mostest, Butter B. Rocker. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. This is our special edition because he is a special guy. Before we bring him on, I just want to say thank you guys so much for your support of my film, Finding the Perfect Guy. It has been streaming now for 6.5 months, and it is now appearing on 22 platforms. So thank you. Also, our next BBR Indie Films, we have opened back up accepting submissions for your films. So you have till April 7th to submit for our next BBR Indie Films, which is going to be on May 15th. So again, you can go to bbrmediagroup.com or you can go to Film Freeway /BBR Indie Films and submit your film. So we look forward to seeing you in the building. But y'all didn't come here to see me. Y'all came here to see this man. He is the CEO founder of SteeleSync and Sync Spotlight. Can you please show some love for Mathew Steele? Hello, Mathew. How are you?
Hello. Good afternoon. Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good and doing well. Good to be on. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, Mathew. I am very thrilled to speak to you. And, you know, you're doing some amazing things. You got an amazing event that's about to happen. And I said, we got to get you on so that we can talk about it. So before we go into all of the wonderful things that you're doing, can you give everybody a little bit of background about yourself?
Yeah, I've been in the business a little over 15 years now. I started off as an audio engineer and artist manager. I manage a hip hop artist, a guy named Pride out of Tampa, Florida, and kind of developed him from a young age. I met him when he was about 15 to 16 years old. And so I spent about like a good 4 or 5 years developing him. And we released his first single back in 2010. And I pushed that single as hard as I could. I got some radio play with it, especially like mix show play. It was like a club record. And we just kept pushing it, and it got picked up for independent film. It was called Game Time. It was like a basketball film that was done independently, and it ended up getting picked up by Lionsgate, and they used the song in the trailer for it, which was a real big look for it for us. But right after that happened, we had a #1 box office film placement in the film Limitless. It's just right up there on my wall. But yeah, it's always nice to be able to have a #1 box office film. And then the same song was used in another film, The Family, which is right up there too, about a year after. And it was used in about a full minute scene. It was used in a long scene in that movie. And they paid us like 6 months up front. It was the same director that directed Fifth Element, Luc Besson, the French director. So we were happy to, that he reached out to us in advance and was like, we want this song in your movie. I was like, all right, man, I'm all for it. Anything you want to do. And then a little bit about 6 months after that, the 100th episode of Parks and Recreation, there was a scene with Aziz, the comedian, had in the show where it was like a T-Dazzle additive to water. They were kind of doing a spiff on fluoride for that episode. It was the 100th episode, and they ended up using the song in the promo for the episode, which was another sync. It's probably like $5,000 for the placement of the episode, and it was like another maybe like $2,500, $3,000 for the promo. And Limitless placement was around like $7,000, and the family placement was around $5,000 or so. So when you add them all up, for one song, that's not too bad monetizing in just sync alone. And
Wow.
I've seen that record just from sync and from a little viral video that someone had made, basically a soccer montage with a remix of the song, and like it went viral, and like there's been probably over 500,000 views from just sync alone from those that and the soccer clip from that song.
Wow.
Which helps the artist at the end of the day, with the 2,500 or whatever it is he's with his sync with his streams these days.
Right.
It's not as lucrative as it was when I was first starting in the business, that's for sure.
Wow. That's an amazing accomplishment off of one artist, off of your very first artist at that. Are you still working with him?
We still do some work. He still has some placements. He has some recent stuff on a few TV shows recently. So he's always still working in sync. We don't work as heavy as we used to, unfortunately. But he was definitely a stepping stone in my career to find sync, because I was before that, I was the financier behind him and the artist manager. So I was paying every time we're going out on the road, studio time, mix, mastering, photo shoots, video shoots, all that stuff just adds up. And when when you find sync, you're like, oh wow, they just want something that's professionally mixed, professionally recorded, mixed and mastered, and it's got to be well produced and well written. But certain songs like that, they always work well in sync opportunities. I found a few placements in those opportunities, so I continue to explore. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I got started in sync. And about a year after the Limitless placement, I was like, okay, let me start growing a catalog and start seriously, pursuing this.
That was going to be my next question. When did you actually start SteeleSync? Okay. So how?
Yeah, it was 2012 was beginning of 2012 was when I started SteeleSync. Yep.
Okay. And how do you select artists for representation?
I try not to be too picky. I try to have an open mind. Of course, the quality of music's got to be there. It can't be, something that someone spent 5 minutes in a basement and they expect to be placed on, the biggest Marvel movie or something. It's just not. You got to have the right expectations about your music. Right. Yeah, realistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I mean, being here in Atlanta, I mean, some of my clients are urban pop, but we have a little bit of everything. The thing about the Atlanta area is like it's known for, rap, like Outkast or Usher, like urban pop stuff, which is used in sync really heavily right now. Anyways, even in ads these days, I just saw a new ad. It was like a DMX. They just like cut up a DMX for a trailer for an ad. I just saw that just like I think earlier today when I was watching TV, just doing some research. And I'm seeing like they're still using a lot of urban stuff. But I mean, we have a little bit of everything, and like I try to cover like the different genres, like the rock market, Americana, folk, country. Country's become more popular with some of the songs that have exploded to like the country pop market over the last couple years now. Right. Made country a little more mainstream than what it's been befere. But yeah, I have like a bluegrass band that should be coming to Sync Spotlight from Columbia, South Carolina. So we try to do because we never know what they're going to be looking for. So I try to have a little bit of everything. So, if I'm sitting across from maybe like a director like you, and you're like, okay, I want electronic dubstep for this club scene, and I want maybe like an R&B song for this love scene, or I want whatever your needs are for those different cues. I want to be able to try to have the ability to send something for different cues and then maybe just one for one project or something. And that, it helps you just having like a diverse, songs that are, the ballads you might, and then you have the up tempo stuff, and
Right.
you have maybe like some hip hop, electronic, pop, funk. That's a lot of the stuff I've seen them looking lately. About 6 months ago, I kind of transitioned from doing a lot of heavy and TV film stuff into doing more ads because of the strike.
Mhm.
And I've like the last few weeks, I've worked on a few projects. Some paying like four figures, high four figures. A couple paying like five figures. So they pay well. It's like it's a different strategy when you're going after ads. It's more like if you compare it to like a sport like baseball, you're kind of like the cleanup hitter or whatever. You're trying to hit a home run and knock in like 3 or 4 runs in with one at bat. That's what you're
Right.
trying to do with. That's what you're trying to do with the ad placement. And there's a lot of competition with the ads. There's a lot more people pitching for those a lot of times because they have a lot of connections with different catalogs and different libraries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to talk about fee structure, but before I do, when an artist is signed with your company, are they signed exclusively, non-exclusively? And what is a realistic typical timeline for securing placements that you tell people? Because people have unrealistic expectations a lot of time. They feel they sign up with you, and then in 2 weeks they supposed to be a millionaire. So how does that work?
Yeah, I take a percentage of the sync fee, and I work non-exclusively, and I encourage even my clients to work with other sync agents. Like someone that I can recommend that's another sync agent that is in the business that is well known, that has a large following, is Eric Campbell. I
Mm-hmm.
would say that he's a good sync agent to work with. But I work non-exclusively. I take normally anywhere from on the low end, like maybe like 30%, on the high end, maybe as much as 50%. I try not to take any more than that. I don't take any publishing or anything on the back end. I'm just taking an upfront percentage of that upfront sync fee, whether it be like $500 or sometimes even less than that on an independent film or something, or background on like a not a popular TV show or something, to like, as big as, 5 or 6 figure placements where we're taking, anywhere from that 30 to 50% range, depending on the situation. And sometimes I might even partner with another sync agent or a supervisor or something. And on the business side, we might have 2 people where I might cut my percentage down to like 25, and then I might bring another business person in on a 25, and then we'll split that on the business side on the percentage, and then the other 50 would go to the creatives in that situation. And then every now and then that happens where I might partner with somebody, and we, as long as we're all making money, we're taking home our percentage and a check at the end of the day, and it makes everybody happy, and we get a placement, the music gets out there, it's
Right.
more exposure for the artist. So especially these days when you got to pay to be on a playlist, or to get it a DJ to put on the radio, to put
Right.
on this podcast, or whatever people are streaming or listening and viewing music or film
Mhm.
or video, So
Now, now you're non-exclusive, but do you recommend for artists or musicians that are looking to get into the sync world? Do you recommend going exclusive at times?
there are certain situations where if it's a right fit, I would say try not to lock your whole catalog up exclusively. Like if you
Mhm.
want to assign one song or a couple songs or something like that. But I would try to, unless it's like a situation where they're the biggest player in the market on that genre and all of sync, and they're like, and they can get you everywhere.
Right.
There are a few companies like that, a few sync companies that are big, that have the power to be able to put you in a few places or whatnot. And I know you asked earlier, what's the realistic expectations of when someone pitches or signs a sync deal to actually get a placement? And that can be, it could be almost immediately, or it could be years. There are certain sync deals that are 5 years or more. Mine are more artist friendly. It's more like normally 2-year deal. And I do like an extension if we don't, if everything's going well, we land a placement. Even if we don't land a placement, it's been 2 years. I'm like, you guys want me to still pitch it? Like I'm all about trying to artists make more money, and
Right.
that's why I'm I kind of find like the purpose of what I do, and it's just linking these creatives that have the correct music for what's being looked for.
Right. Right. Now, does SteeleSync offer any services beyond placements such as artist development or marketing support?
I have a few marketing clients. There's a local. It's basically a big cruise company based in Marietta. It's a cruise and vacation company that I've been a marketing director there for about 5 years. So I do a little marketing too. Just because I do a lot of it in my business and with my events,
Mhm.
things like that. It just comes in the nature of it. But I would say that what was the other question you had? I'm sorry.
Lord, now you had me lying to you because I didn't move on. Ah,
Okay,
I
you're good.
yeah. All right, let me get to the next question then.
Okay.
What is the process for pitching music to music supervisors?
Okay, so for me, it's like building the relationship with the supervisor. So like I might not pitch anything to a supervisor maybe until like I've known them for like 3 to 6 months. Maybe I might just like build a relationship, just touch in with them. If I'm doing an event like Sync Spotlight, I can put them on a panel. I have their email address because I got to contact them. I got their phone number, and now I've built a relationship just because I put an event together and they're a speaker at my event. And
Right.
now I've opened up opportunity to get briefs from them. So I use that to my leverage. I'm literally got briefs coming in that we're going to be shooting to our attendees today and tomorrow so everyone can get their music prepared in the next few days.
Nice,
So
nice, nice.
it's a lot of fun. Yeah, so we're getting a few briefs from the sync agents, from the supervisors, and even from some of the creatives that are on some of the panels, Sync Spotlight. Yep.
I love it. So that's a good segue into talking about Sync Spotlight. You have an event coming up called Sync Spotlight. Can you tell everybody what that is, when it
Yeah.
is?
All right, so it's basically an all-day sync event. It's 4 panels. It has 2 creative panels here. We have XJ Will, which is probably the biggest sync guy that has a social media following. He has like 110,000 Instagram followers and 100,000 TikTok followers. You got Joseph, Mr. Hit Record Lopez, that used to work for ESPN for 5 years. He does a lot of like pop, Latin pop, even Brazilian funks kind of stuff for Gabby B, Latin artist or a Brazilian artist out of Miami. You got London Elixir, female producer. She's killing it. Me and her, like, we just spoke at GSU a couple months ago. You got Luke. He's the only composer on the panel. He just did a really dope. Star Wars project. And then we got the final panelist is Chris Scott. He's Level Up Productions. He just did you just saw him at the camp a couple weeks ago at Icon Studios with Brianna's Sync Up camps.
Yeah.
Level Up camps.
I actually met Luke in Miami at the camp as well. So.
Okay, yeah, and he was at the one there in Atlanta too. So he stays working. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And then on the artist side, we have Brianna, who's Level Up Productions. So she's based in Cartersville here in the Atlanta area, and she's killing it in the sync world. She's able to get indoors. I can't get in. I don't know how she does some of the things she does, but she's amazing. You got Bryce Green. He just had like a couple Pizza Hut placements. He's killing it in the ad sync world. Same as Jay Putty from Nashville there in the middle. He's had placements with DraftKings, Busch Gardens, and Ralph Lauren. Jay Nolan, who's going to play a placement he had with Kevin Hart it was a Netflix series. Kevin Hart, the song that he had when he was walking out at the beginning of this of the episode. And we're gonna play
Nice.
that at Sync Spotlight. And the funny thing about Kevin Hart is actually the day before our event at the same venue. It's a different. There's a larger venue that's a part of the Sandy Springs Performing Arts Center that's there.
Mhm.
He's performing there the day before our event, and that's
Oh,
we're in
wow.
good company if Kevin Hart's there the day before, you know. So
Right.
he's going to be there. And I forgot to mention. I was talking about Jay Nolan. I forgot to mention Jay Josephine. She's out of the Virginia area. And she's been killing in the Seek world too. She's just landed like a whole bunch of new placements. She's had a whole catalog of placements. And then on the business side panels, the last two panels, we're having an extra 30 minutes on these panels. So we're doing 30 minutes of listening on each panels from attendees. So we'll have 15 slots, anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds, depending on how we are in time. We'll play the 15 for this supervisor panel. These are all supervisors working on projects. You got Rick Clark out of Tennessee that's working on AMC's Dark Winds season 3 right now. You got Andrew Weaver that just finished a really cool project the last 6 months, The Blind, a nice independent film. Megan Francoeur, who's like killing it, like working with people like Megan Good on Harlem, First Wives Club, The Blackening. You got Mike Carpenter, another supervisor with Passion Flicks that's based in the Atlanta area. And then you got a Johnny Griffith coming up from Miami, another supervisor from the South, from Miami all the way to Deep South. And then you got me on the sync panel. You got Candy that's based in Atlanta that is also a supervisor. And she's killing it in the sync world. And just like, she's just a beast. Mark, who does Sync Summit, he's also been doing it for a long time. You got Eric, and then Omar Ruiz with Giannis Media. He's a little new at the game, but we're excited to have him. He's also a singer, songwriter, producer from Ecuador. So he does a lot of Latin stuff and whatnot. So we got a diverse catalog, you know. I try to, you know, make it a little even, about half white, half black, couple Spanish. You know, we're trying to make it diverse, you know, try to include as many women. I try to include more women, but some women said they didn't want to be a part of it. So I try to make it more balanced, because I know a lot of times, especially in this business, it can be very male dominant.
I was surprised to see so many women on your panel, and I was happy to see that. So that's really cool. So at Sync Spotlight, you're going to be offering feedback or guidance to artists at the event where we can play our music.
Yes, at Sync Spotlight during the last two panels here, we're going to be playing a total of an hour of music from attendees. So it's about 30 slots. We're expecting maybe about 200, 250 people there.
Oh, wow.
So we're looking at, you know, roughly 10 to 15% of the attendees will be played during those slots. So what we're going to do to try to make it fair to play everyone we can is in between panels. We'll try to play maybe 2 or 3 songs in between panels and put their social and stuff info so people can follow them or whatever. And then even the event we're doing Friday night at the A-Law Perimeter, which is like a pre-event.
I'm coming.
You're coming? Okay. It's free. We're going to have food, music. We'll probably do instrumental music that's low. But we'll also play a few of the attendees' music that are going to be there. We'll probably start a little list. Everybody that comes in puts their name on the list, and then we'll try to work their way into the programming that night too, if we can, because there will be some panelists. There's 8 panelists that are staying at that hotel at the A-Law Perimeter First Sync Spotlight, and it's only a mile and a half away from our venue at the Sandy Springs Performing Arts Center.
Nice. So, okay. So you got over 200 something people that's coming, and you probably got maybe 20 to 30 slots. How are y'all going to determine who gets on those slots? And I heard
what you said. It's going to be a combination. What's that?
I said, I heard what you said about Friday. About Friday, you'll put your name on the list. But how are y'all going to do it for Saturday?
You're breaking up. I heard you say Friday and Saturday, and that was about it.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out on Saturday. Can you hear me? You can't hear me? Okay.
You're breaking
Well,
up.
okay. Well, we are talking to
Okay,
Matthew
hold on. It's better
Steele.
now.
Okay. We're talking to Matthew Steele. I am trying to find out for Saturday, is there going to be a sign up process to possibly get their songs placed, or how is that going to work for Saturday? I understand how it's going to work for Friday. So I believe we are now
Man, you're
having
breaking up
technical
bad. Do I
problems.
need to restart it?
Got
Is it
you.
my connection? I have full. It says I have full connection here.
I can hear you clearly, so I'm not sure.
What I was saying is like we're trying to work. Even with those 30 slots, we're trying to work in programming in between the panels. And can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Is it better now? Oh,
Yes.
I think it just got reset. Okay, it's better now.
Okay.
Okay, it's basically the people that are choosing. It's going to be a 12 VIPs. So our 12 VIPs, we're going to be pulling from them. We'll be pulling 12 from our general mission, and we'll be pulling up to about 6 from students, and it's mainly students because.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are having some problems. He is giving.
What up? And basically, with those slots, it's based on early birds first. So we'll have these briefs set up that I'm gonna be sending out over the next 24 hours. We'll have a few briefs, and if any of the music that is submitted fits those briefs based on the criteria, those will also be chosen over some other people too. So it's based on having the music that we're looking for, and it's based on having purchased your tickets the earliest too. Because if someone has like if their music's about the same, and I have to say which one I'm going to play out of these two, I'm gonna pick the person that bought their ticket a month or two in advance, because they bought their ticket a month or two in advance and helped me be able to sell more tickets as I was promoting on the way. So it's first come first serve, but we are pulling those 12 VIPs will automatically get a slot in that 30 slots. So those are 12 slots that are automatically taken off. And then in the general admission, we have so far roughly about 150 general admission, because we have student tickets and we have VIP tickets too. We're only doing those 12 VIP, and then so far 150 general admission, and roughly about 25 to 50 students altogether.
Wow.
And we're doing a student discount. The student discount's like $100 a ticket, and even it was less than that before we were doing 50% off and all that. But we're like less than a week out, so it's no more of the big discounts anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Are you almost sold out, or?
No, we're not. We're not sold out yet. We still have plenty of tickets. General admission. There is one VIP ticket. Let me plug this real quick, because we had somebody that was sick that cannot be at Sync Spotlight. That I just refunded the ticket like literally like today. So we have one VIP ticket. It's $300, but it does guarantee you a slot in the pitch session, either on the music supervisor panel or the Sync agent panel on my panel. Both are packed panels with 5 people that can make moves with your music. So it's
Question. So what about somebody like myself who's late?
It was spinning there.
Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Okay. So what about if you have someone like myself who's late purchasing their ticket, didn't realize that I was late on the VIP, and now that you have a VIP ticket available, want to upgrade? How does that work?
We can make that happen. I had somebody upgrade from the last VIP ticket we sold, because we had someone else, like it was like a refund before. So I had like 2 or 3 refunds based on people that couldn't attend or something, for whatever reason. And we just had this VIP ticket come back. It literally someone from the Atlanta area that lives out in Flowery Branch that said
wow.
She come down with some kind of bad illness and can't make it. And I told her we'd even honor the one-on-one with her. we'll still do a one-on-one virtually with her, just to, even refunding the ticket just to honor, just because we understand not all the
Mm-hmm.
time everyone's going to be 100% well 99% of the time,
Right, right. Can you tell everybody what time it start? Drop the website, all the other good stuff.
Okay, so Sync Spotlight, SYNCSPOTLIGHT.com. Sync Spotlight on all socials. So if you look at Sync Spotlight on Instagram, that's SYNC Spotlight on Instagram. On TikTok, we're up to almost 30. We're over 3,900 followers on TikTok. We're up to over 620 followers on Instagram. Nobody's hardly on Facebook anymore, but we got like 320 likes on the page, so it's something.
Right.
But those are the social media channels. You can catch us all there. The programming Friday night at the Aloft will be 5 to 10 there, and then all day Saturday. It starts noon on Saturday day. First hour is a networking hour from noon to 1. It goes from first panel goes from 1 to 2:30. Second panel goes from 2:40 to 4:10, and third panel goes from 4:20 to 7:20. It's a 2-hour panel, and that will be the music supervisor panel. And after that panel, there'll be an hour break to grab dinner, grab something to eat, drink, because there's no outside food and drink inside the venue besides for VIPs and speakers. We'll only have access to non-alcoholic drinks. So we have that hour break between the third and fourth panel. We come back after that hour, come back at 7:20, and that's my panel, the Seek Agent panel, music biz rep panel. And you have me, Mark, Eric, Omar, and Candace on that panel. And we'll finish up the night around like 9:20, 9:30. And hopefully we'll be everyone out of there at the end of the night by probably like 10 o'clock from the last networking. We'll probably do at the very end of the night from the last panel.
That sounds like it's going to be an amazing day.
We don't have any after party set or anything. It is Easter weekend, so that Sunday is Easter. So we're trying to respect a lot of people's time with that, and that's why we did the pre-event before and not after, or we did the other event before. So if anybody wants to come and network that Friday night, if anybody's like, hey, I don't have $150 for the ticket, let me come to the free event and see what's going on. We might do some raffles or something. I'm just letting some people know. We might give out some free tickets if y'all want to come through. So y'all, come say hi. Just come network. We want to see you there.
And what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to post the flyers in the feed so that people can see it as well on Facebook. I won't be able to post it on YouTube, but I will be able to type it on YouTube. So I'll make sure that I get that information out there as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So how can people reach you for your SteeleSync company if they would like to submit and contact you?
My best email right now is the SteeleSync@gmail.com. I have a few other emails, but that's the one that I've been kind of using for submissions. And I've been a lot of my time and energy has been going to this conference, especially the last few weeks, but even the last couple months, to be honest with you. So I might be a little behind on some submissions. I'm not neglecting anybody. I do listen to a lot of music. My Spotify wrapped up was like 100,000 of listening last year, and that's just on Spotify. That doesn't include like disco, and I do a lot of listening on disco. If disco ever releases that information, it's going to be interesting for me to see.
So. Right. Okay. Well, Hope had asked
on my email, and I have my own social media page, SteeleSync. Oh, sorry.
No, I can hear you.
I was just saying, I also have my own social media page. It's SteeleSync, @SteeleSync on Instagram. That's STEELE with 3 E's there. Sync, SYNC, all together there. And that's got maybe 10,000 on my Instagram page there. I do go live, and sometimes I even go live and I play some people's music on my live sometimes just to spread good music. So
Nice,
you can
nice,
catch me on
nice.
there every now and then, and I'm sure I'll be on there the next few days trying to build some anticipation for the conference here.
Absolutely. Well, also, Mathew is going to be one of my guest panelists at my next BBR Indie Films that's going to be on May 15th. So we're super excited about that. And Mathew, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here, telling everybody about your Sync Spotlight and about SteeleSync. Both of them are amazing companies and opportunities for artists and musicians and everything. So I truly appreciate you taking the time. I'm not sure what was going on with the internet because you looked fine on my side, but you know, internet is the internet and things happen. So with that, everybody, we are out of here. We want to say thank you, and we will talk to you guys later. Mathew, you stay on, but with everybody else, we'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, y'all.
Bye, everybody.